Welcome, first time listeners and returners to FYI. Follow Your Intuition, where we hope to provide some of the most inspirational, motivational, and educational tools for your intuitive toolbox. We want you, with your newfound superpower, to believe in your compass, listen to your inner voice, trust your gut, and follow your sixth sense, your intuition. We hope you enjoy this amazing interview with today's incredible guest, right here in FYI. We're so honored to welcome on this first day of Gynecological Cancer Awareness Month, as a part of our 50th anniversary of Title IX Celebration Series, co-founder of the Co-Sign Podcast from Columbia, South Carolina, Laroy Hall. She's known for her epic TikTok lives, where she's nearly at 1 million followers, where she is the Eminem and Harry Mack of freestyle, motivational, inspirational, and educational speaking, known for being extremely raw, uncut, and uncensored, which in 2017 made people fall in love with her boldness to speak freely on relationships, religion, and family, usually from her car. You can find her at laroyhall.com, where she has a No More Tears event coming up on September 10th in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You have to check out her t-shirts on her website as well, which are lit, where one of them reads, "I'd rather be at peace alone than to be in pieces connected to the wrong people." She's an author and has an audiobook on her website. She's a life coach, and I can tell you this, I'm so honored that she's taking time out of her busy ass schedule to join my ass today on my podcast, Healthy Living with Hoot, and FYI, Follow Your Intuition. Oh my goodness. When I first saw her, I was like, I got to have her on my show. You can find her on Instagram at either sheking_apparel or streetpoet_1125. She has nearly 1 million followers on TikTok. You can also find her at streetpoet_1125 on Facebook and facebook.com/mostwanted.street, where she has nearly 250,000 followers, and on her personal Facebook page, facebook.com/Laroy Hall Street Poet, all one word. And then finally, you can subscribe on Patreon for $10 a month. Man, you can go to her link tree basically for all that stuff. Just go to linktr.ee. That's Linktree. Linktree, but there's a period before the E and the E in Linktree, and then /Street Poet. Boom.
Boom.
Podcast. When I saw you, I was like, man, if she would come on the podcast, it would be amazing. And so honored and humbled that you're joining us today.
No problem at all.
So tell us, because in 2017, some things changed. But, with a lot of my sports deli athletes that I've had Hall of Famers on the show. I've had a lot of historic women from the WNBA. I've had a lot of amazing queens as a part of our 50th anniversary of Title IX Celebration Series. And I always like to ask about people's upbringing, because from a fashion standpoint, from a music standpoint, just from being in your neighborhood, and your friends and family, coaches, it shapes who we are.
Right.
And so tell me a little bit about what it was like, being Laroy Hall in South Carolina growing up.
You know what? It was a trying time. I'm very transparent about my upbringing and some of the struggles that I had to go through. Of course, my mom wasn't really around like that. She was alive, but just not really involved in my life. My dad was in jail most of my life. My sisters and brothers decided to follow that suit. So even with it being a large amount of sisters and brothers, everybody decided that they wanted to follow in the same steps of, going to jail, selling drugs, doing the most and whatnot. And I've always been intrigued by church. I've always been the black sheep of everybody. I've always wanted to go to church. I always wanted to be a good person. I saw the effects of what it was when you were on drugs and being the person that sells them and all of that. I saw that at a very young age, what I'm saying, from, different molestation situations, with cousins and everybody else, rape and just a little bit of everything. If you name it, I probably already seen it and had to live through it. By the time that I got about 15 and a half, almost 16, I got a fake ID, and I actually left Rock Hill altogether and went and enrolled myself into a boarding school here in Columbia,
Wow.
South Carolina, which is called Willow Gray Opportunity School for at risk youth.
Mm,
I stayed there. I enrolled myself there because I knew that I would have room and board, and I
mm,
would have food, and I would have adult supervision, which even as a child being 16, I know it's kind of a little bit different because every 16-year-old wants that freedom. I didn't. I wanted to be able to go to church in peace. I wanted to be able
mm.
to get my education, and I knew that the environment that I was in, that I would never be able to get that accomplished. So I enrolled myself in with a fake ID, and I actually passed the exam within 2 or 3 weeks. I had my GED,
Amazing.
and from that point forward, I was working, man. When by the time the dean of the school realized what was going on, it was just like, we're not going to send her back. She's already done what she needed to
Wow.
do. So I started working. She allowed me to stay on campus, and I just continued to work and, build up my money. And I continued. I went on to the college, what I'm saying, that was over there. And it was like a community college type of
Yep.
deal. And I just focused on my growth and my development from that point forward. I realized at an early age that I could change my whole entire life by simply changing my mind.
Oh, man. Boy, I gotta let that breathe for a minute. There's a lot to unpack there. Wow, that is I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, that is to be an old soul is one thing, but to be
Mhm.
wise beyond your years is something completely different, and to act on it,
Oh yeah.
in a way that was completely polar opposite of your family,
Hmm.
is amazing. And so, when you talk about, things that resonate with you,
Hmm.
like the church and spirituality, and that's a
Right.
big part of what you like to talk about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, what do you say to people like me who are more spiritual and less religious and think that the Bible is just a story? And not to
Um.
minimize it, but just to
Mhm.
say, hey, because I believe in invisible things too, right? God's
Right. Right.
invisible
Right.
but not invisible,
Right.
and it's spiritually we see a lot of invisible things, love, you
Mhm.
know, hope. There's a
Right.
lot of things that are invisible. So what do you say to people that are more spiritual versus religious?
I would say that I agree. Even though I'm faith based and I very much believe in God, I believe in, what I'm saying, and I believe in the Bible and things like that. But I also know that the Bible is like probably one of the best self help books ever
Wow.
created. For me, I don't read the book and automatically, jump into like, oh, it's somebody that's walking around in the belly of the whale or walking on water or these different things. I look at these stories and I understand that that's how strong your faith have to be. That's how,
Mm,
I look at it from a different angle. So a
right.
lot of times when I am talking to people that feel that way, we're able to have good intellectual conversation because I understand exactly where they're coming from. I'm a realist as well. And, when we're talking about the Bible, I'm talking about being persistent, being hungry, having faith, having hope, and understanding that, there is a power, a supernatural power that's out there, that's bigger than us.
Yeah, that's amazing because I've felt just like if you have tension in a room, you can feel the tension, right? It's the same kind of thing. Like you can feel the
Right.
love, you can feel the connectedness, right? And the
Mhm.
goal is to change your vibration, and
Right.
we'll get into that a little bit, right? And your energetic self, because if you are around low level vibrational people,
Oof.
it will suck the life out of you. And I know
It'll
that's
pull
that
you right down
it'll
with them.
it'll suck the life out of, yeah, exactly. So you have that experience and you
Hmm.
have the support of the administration, even though they find out. And you go to
Yeah.
community college, which I did as well. So that's
Mhm.
amazing. I mean, it taught me a lot about how to see the world and how to take
Right.
that next step. So
Exactly.
what was the next step after that? You just worked and saved and just did normal sort of societal things, or you're still
Yeah.
working on yourself?
It's this thing called life, man. And even though you work your hardest and you try to go against all the teaching, all the bad behavior, and the things from your family, back then I didn't have the mentality all the way like how I am now. I knew what I wanted, but I was still a child. So actually, even though I had went through the process, was working, was, living my, what I considered at that moment a way better life than the life that I had in Rock Hill. I was tricked by my sister to come back to Rock Hill, to go to
Mm,
court with her. And never once did she ever tell me that she was going to court and she knew she was going to jail. I just thought that I was going there as a support system. I went to court with her and I instantly became a parent to her at the time, month and a half, almost 2-month old baby. So I had
wow.
to give up my life in Columbia, stay in Rock Hill to take care of her child while she was locked up for about 3 or 4 years.
Mm,
And it was a part of me that was upset about it. It was a part of me that was very resentful concerning it. But at the end of the day, I did what I needed to do. When I went back to Rock Hill, I still got back in church. I started to study spiritual warfare, and I took care of my niece until my sister got out of jail. And when she got out of jail, of course, she got her child back. But by that time, I was already in a different mind space, a different headspace. I had my own son at that time, so I was, being busy being a mom and really just living life and
mm,
and trying to figure things out. But the thing about it was like, even though I was in that environment, I wasn't allowing that environment to consume me. I
mm.
still knew that it was something bigger and something
Yeah.
better for me, and I wanted that.
Man, that's powerful because you can feel it. You just don't know how to navigate that space if you don't have the right tools in your toolbox.
Exactly,
So,
exactly. And that's where I was. I was there in that place for a couple of years actually.
wow.
It was just like you said, you know where you want to go, but you just don't know how to get there just yet.
And you have that inner resiliency. Like you and I are very similar that way. We're like,
Mhm.
no, get out of my face.
Right.
Like don't. But other people commit suicide. Other people make bad choices. If they
Mhm.
don't have that inner resiliency. So that is a gift, whether you believe it's from God or not. That is
Right.
part of our makeup.
Very
And that's the
Mhm.
reason why we were able to probably navigate some of our difficult childhood spaces. I had six
Oh,
dads. My dad killed himself. There's things that everyone has to go through and has a story,
right.
and you either use it as your superpower once you get a few tools in your toolbox, or it becomes your
Mhm.
kryptonite. And so that's
Exactly.
what obviously it became, is your superpower.
Oh
So
yeah.
when did you feel like you were in a place emotionally and mentally that there was a shift going on, where you were like, "Ah, I got an idea about what I want to start to do now." It took me a while, but it wasn't
Mhm.
2017 because there's a big gap between
Yes.
sister getting out of jail and then 2017, right?
Yeah, my when all of this stuff happened, like I said, I was around 15, 16
Right,
years old. By the time I was like 20, I was heavily invested in church. I mean, I was
right.
in church for probably like 6 days a week. I was
Mm,
the time that I was from 20 to about 25, I had a Ford Escort, and I donated all of my time when I wasn't working at my job. I would use that Ford Escort, and I had about 100 little girls that was in the neighborhood, like all over the place.
mm,
And it's crazy because we got this newspaper that's called the Herald in Rock Hill. They came out and they were doing news articles, running ads and all kind of stuff because I was running this escort and I was traveling with 100 little girls, making multiple trips because I was teaching them praise dance, step,
mm.
mime, all different types of things, and keeping them heavily involved in the church and
Wow.
teaching them that the environment that they were brought up in did not have to consume them, that they did not have to be a part of that. All of my girls, man, they graduated with no children, no teen moms. Every matter of fact, three of them right now are ministers, and it was just amazing. It was an amazing thing. So I spent majority of my time working with my girls, trying to show them the same thing that I do right now on social media, with trying to teach people that you can come back from anything, and that no matter how dark your wilderness may be or how hard those trials and tribulations are, that if you stay focused and you stay persistent and you wake up every day and you make this thing about everything that I do is intentional. I do it on purpose. I love myself on purpose. I show up for myself myself on purpose. And these are things that I was instilling in these
Mhm.
kids way before I even had the platform of being a motivational speaker or a life coach or anything. I was just saying and doing what I felt like was right, you know? And I was just
Yeah.
trying to be the adult to them that I wish that I had when I was a child. Right. So that's what I was doing. And then come around 2017 and was going through some hardships in life. And at that moment, I was just like, I got on Facebook and I dropped a video, and it was basically like, it was a mixture of things. Okay. It was a mixture. All right. So it was straight trenches out of the mud. It was real gutter. It was real like raw. It was uncut. Like it was just boom, I'm going to put it all out on the table. And that's what I gave them. But at the same time, you could tell throughout the video, I watched it 3 times, like back to back, because to me, it was still unreal. It was like, it still was mixed up with everything that was in me spiritually, like how the church and the prayers and everything. You could tell like it was something going on there. And
Right.
I dropped the video really talking about how I felt and how
Mm.
you treat people and how you respect people. And I went to sleep. I wasn't thinking about anything. I woke up and it was like at 6 million in less than 24 hours. And I was like, wait, what? And from that point forward, it was like every day that I woke up, everybody was on my page and it was like, drop another video, drop another video, drop another video. And I
Wow.
just started making videos every day since then.
Man, that is, if that's not a testament to just be your authentic self,
That's it.
be vulnerable and have the courage to take that first step, even
Mm,
if it's on a short pier.
that's it.
Uh, man, wow. That so do some of those girls still stay in touch with you and thank you
Oh,
for
yeah.
steering them down the right path?
For sure. A lot of them still follow. They follow me on my Facebook pages.
Mm,
They were at one point they were doing the ones that are ministers. They was doing a little podcast on Facebook, and I'll pop in onto their podcast. See, I'm real selective about who I work with, right?
right.
And I get invited to do a lot of shows. I just don't
I'm
do them,
sure.
and is I don't know, it's just I like good energy. I like to be able to, one, I want to feel welcome. I want to feel that type of a vibe, from
Right.
that individual. And so I'll pop in on them every now and again and see what they got going on or whatever, or they'll hit me up, or what I'm saying, send me a message or something just to check on me. But yeah, so to answer your question, yeah, I do keep in contact with them.
Man, you were life coaching before you even knew what life coaching was. That's
Right.
man, you were mentoring
Yes.
them, life coaching them,
Yes.
coaching them, and representation. We talk about that on the show so often. Whether I've
Hmm.
had Will Catlett on the show, my former player who's a star in Hollywood now, an
Hmm.
amazing gentleman of color, or Antoine Washington, who is an artist in Cleveland,
Hmm.
who we mobilized to try and get internet for the kids who didn't have internet in freaking Cleveland, Ohio during the pandemic so that we could
Uh,
bridge this gap, of systemic racism that still goes on in this country in different forms, whether it's healthcare or, technologically speaking or whatever it is.
mhm.
And so to see someone like you, because coaches impacted me profoundly, you
Oh yeah.
know, uh, and I had them of all shapes and sizes, colors, and man, they probably are just now realizing how much that experience with you probably changed their life forever.
Oh yeah. Some of them have, and even back in the day, that some of them already kind of knew. They were just like, if it wasn't for you, taking that time out with us to work with us to pick us up, we would probably be like the statistics. We probably would have children. We probably would have, been dead or in the grave, or saying laid up in the hospital and all these
Yeah.
different things. But I always tell people, no matter what it is another person give you, see, I can come and I can tell you all these different things, but still give yourself credit for making the choice. You decided that you wanted something better for your life. You decided to work on it. You decided to put your energy and your effort into that. So it's okay for you to give me my flowers. Understand, I do everything out of love, and I
Right.
appreciate the flowers, but also pat your back as well. Salute yourself as well, because guess what? You had to do the work.
Yeah, it's interesting you talked about the love because I had
Mhm.
Dr. Russell Kennedy on the show. And so he's the anxiety doctor.
Okay.
And so he was on my, Healthy Living with Hoot podcast. His dad was bipolar. His dad was schizophrenic, and his dad killed himself.
Mm,
And so for 30 years as a neuroscientist, a real doctor, right? People, Western medicine, he had anxiety 10 out of 10. And
mhm,
so my mom's a psychotherapist, and she has been for over 40 years. And so a lot of people get caught in this, narrative of cognitive therapies. And so I'm interested to hear your opinion about this because Dr. Kennedy came on and he's like very big into somatic therapy. His wife's a
mhm.
somatic therapist, and he believes that your trauma, your childhood trauma, right? Because you talk a lot about that, and you
Right,
have to you have to get in touch with those childhood traumas and those
right,
wounds. Otherwise, you really cannot be the best version of yourself because he always talks about the amygdala. It doesn't have any type of expiration date, and whatever trauma was there, it's still there, but it's somewhere in your body physically. So for me, it was
mm,
always on my shoulders. So
mhm,
I would have this twilight feeling as if I was given a partial drug during a surgery, but I was half awake, half asleep. And I felt
mhm,
like I had 400 pounds on my shoulders. And literally, I was conscious. I knew I wasn't in danger, but I felt like because of my distorted thinking that I
mhm.
was in danger. And, you talk about this a lot, but in your way as, a spiritual, person who, helps people to think differently.
Uh-huh,
And so I just wondered what your thought was on that, if you've ever heard of that, because I never thought of it either until I had him on my show and I listened to him like I listened to you.
uh-huh.
And it's fascinating to think about how you have to sit in your shit, basically. And we always think of, admitting it as the first step. And we're
Right.
talking about between the ears and above the eyebrows, but he talks about it physically. Anyways, his book is unbelievable. I've never read a book like that. I've read a lot of books or listened to a
Mhm.
lot of books in this case. And so, anyways, anyone that's listening on your end or my end, I challenge you to take different perspectives and see what resonates with you to help you deal with your childhood trauma, because that is going to impact you for the rest of your life if you don't get in touch with it one way or the other. Right. For
Right.
some people, it can be cognitive, some people it can be the way that he's explaining, and it resonated with me right away. And I have Crohn's disease, right?
Mhm.
This is a long-winded question, but it's important because I want to give you a framework, to be able to
Yes.
answer it because it's sort of a different, perspective up the same mountain.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and so I have had Crohn's my whole life, right? And about 23 years ago, I went to therapy and I did a lot of the somatic stuff. And I've been
Mhm.
asymptomatic from my Crohn's disease since then. And there's a correlation between trauma and physical symptomologies. They've done studies on this. So I was like listening to him, going to ask him one question, and all of a sudden, I'm like, fuck, like that's why my Crohn's shit has been asymptomatic and gone for the last 20 some odd years because I dealt with my shit. And so if you
Mhm.
don't think a lot of the physical problems that we go through, the headaches and the stomach aches and the back pains and feeling a lack of support literally in the back doesn't
Mhm.
impact you because of your childhood trauma. Like I believe in
Mhm.
that wholeheartedly. I just never heard someone talk about it, especially a dude, a
Yeah.
traditional doctor who's pushing back against traditional doctors and cognitive therapies. So, anyways, very interesting. So, I just wonder what your thoughts were on that about, feeling physically, basically your trauma and it triggering all the time. And so,
Mhm.
maybe just a different angle that.
Right. I think that in that situation, you're absolutely right. I never really heard anybody, I've never been asked that question. And I don't think anybody have ever spoke about it, in my
Right.
presence or any of the seminars that I've attended. But one of the things that I will say is this, do your past matter? I do feel as though the things that you've gone through in your past, I do feel like they matter. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, when we go through certain things in life, we're going through those things and we're being taught different lessons in those situations. Yes, I do feel like you can wear it, in other parts of your body, headaches, you know what I'm saying, chest pains, and all of that. But I think that what we refer to it more of over around me is like stress. You
Right.
start to feel that stress, you start to feel that anxiousness, that panic attacks and whatnot when people say things, that's triggering or that brings back the remembrance of certain things that have happened to you in your past,
Yeah.
or you are all of a sudden, they'll say something or do something and all of a sudden you're offended by it. And it's not so much, it's not even that they said it to you in a negative way or a malicious way. They were just
Right.
simply speaking, but because you've experienced that, you
Triggered.
automatically, you clam up or you become offensive. So I do believe that it does have an impact on your life. However, I am one to also believe that your past do not define the person that
Oh,
you are.
absolutely.
I feel like no matter what type of situation that you're in, and no matter what your experience are in life, I think that everything to me, and like I said, this is just me. I tell people it's an expiration date. You got to let that hurt go. You can't hold on to things that went on with you in your yesteryears and think that everybody else is supposed to dance around it or to accept you and your BS and just be okay with the fact, like at one point or another, you got to get up, you got to dust yourself off, you got to understand that you still got some skin in this game. If you spend the rest of your life focusing on things that happened to you, 15 and 20 and 500 years ago, then you're going to always be in that stuck, stagnant state. I'm all about growth. I'm all about
Right.
development. I'm all about feeling what you got to feel in that moment, go through all those emotions and let it go. I don't like to hoard or hold on to
Yeah.
anything negative. Have I had some unfortunate things happen? Of course I did. Was I left? Was I abandoned? Was I treated poorly? Was I beaten? Yes. You know, I was 9 or 10 years old walking around with cocaine in my vagina because this is what my dad told me to do. I need you to carry this for me. This is a person that's supposed to protect me. You know, I knew at 11 and 12 years old. I knew how to cut up marijuana, bag it, weigh it. I knew all of that. But it's up to you how you decide to live your life. It's up to you to make that decision to say, do I want to stay this way or do I want to change? I know what happened to me in my past, but me dwelling there, it won't help me in the future. It won't give me the joy and the peace and the sanity that I deserve right now. I look at my past. I'm going to be really, really honest with you. And this is the first time that I've ever said this. Right now, I look at my past, friend, and all the things that I experienced. And I look at the love that I'm being shown right now, being able to basically be monetized on every platform. I'm traveling all over the world and I'm doing motivational speaking and it's on somebody else's dime. I feel like the life, and I don't work a full-time job. I dedicated my life to motivational speaking and life coaching. I walked away from 23 years in warehouse as a shipping and receiving manager. Good money to do what I'm doing right now. So every opportunity, every yes that I get, every door that's open to me, that's payback for every tear, for every blood, sweat, whatever I had to go through. All of this, I earned this. So I wake up every day with that mentality that everything that I'm getting right now, I earned this. I paid for it with tears. I paid for it through betrayal. I paid for it through those letdowns. And I utilize everything that happened to me and I utilize it as stepping stones to keep going, to be able to have different conversations with different people and them understand this ain't something that I read in a book. I'm giving you hard knock life. I'm giving you real life experiences. I'm showing you that if you change your mind, you can change your life. And that's how I live. I just don't dwell back there.
How long did it take you, do you feel like, because when you
Mhm.
motivate people with your incredible speeches and discourse with people, because people will listen to you and they'll be like, yeah, I'm fired up today, I'm ready. And
Mhm.
then they get triggered again an hour later.
Mhm.
And so what are the non-negotiables? What are the tools that you really feel like for someone starting out like you, who dealt
Mhm.
with one of those things, let alone all of them,
Right.
to be a better version of themselves? Because I don't want to oversimplify this and I don't want to
Mhm.
trigger anybody either, but
Right.
it takes time.
Oh
if
yes.
you're gonna be committed on a daily basis to
Oh
trying to be
yeah.
the best version of yourself, it's not something you can just say, I'm gonna outthink this.
Right.
You're gonna get triggered
There's
constantly.
Yeah, there's no outthinking it, and that's a really good question that you're asking. For the month of August, I just did a full 31-day class every single day on TikTok. We were live from 11 to 12, and it was called Project Me, right?
Mm,
And with Project Me, what I was teaching them is that if you know, it's one thing to have that fire lit inside of you,
right.
right? So I can come on here on Monday and I can light the fire in you, but when I get off Monday, if I don't come back to the following week,
That's
are you just going to let
167.
your fire die out?
Right, that's 167 hours by yourself.
Exactly. So what I was teaching them was good self-care. Practicing good self-care is taking logs and adding to that fire. If you don't add paper, if you don't add wood, if you don't add something that is flammable to that fire, it's gonna go out. So you gotta wake up every single day, and you gotta wake up with that same mentality, that same drive, that same passion, that same aggression. You gotta literally become obsessed with the process, just
Right,
like you are with the finished product. You gotta understand that
absolutely.
nothing happens overnight. You didn't get into this situation overnight. This is years on years of built up stuff. So, in
Right.
order for you to unpack it, in order for you to get to that next level, you got to wake up every day and you got to work at it every single day. And I was just telling them, on the days when you don't feel like it, those are the days you work the
Right.
hardest.
Did you do this in the warehouse too?
You know what?
I just had
It's
a
funny
picture in
because,
my mind that you were in this warehouse for 23 years doing this
yeah,
all the time and like became a legend in the warehouse.
man, you know what? I was in the warehouse, and I
Oh
did
shit,
for the younger people that
man.
would come into the warehouse, and they would be there and they would be working and whatnot. You know, I would have conversations with them all the time about,
Mm,
you know, where do they see themselves at in a few years from now, you know, because I'm a strong believer in goal setting as well. I feel
right.
like if you don't have any goals set, I think that you're just swinging at the air. You just, you know, coasting by through life. Like, as long as this working, then I'm going to continue to work it. And it's not any real progress, right? Because you know, you can live, but you're just living, but thriving is something different.
So generational trauma,
Hmm.
um, especially with the stuff that you're talking about, do you find pushback with people of color because it's just something that they don't normally talk about, either trauma, therapy,
Yeah.
you get roasted for it, or you're mentally something's wrong with you? Because I think it's important when people of color listen to this, they see it from your perspective, and when white people listen, they may hear it from me, even though we're saying the same thing. And that's just the reality of the situation. But how do people of color take not just the preachy motivational part, but when
Yeah.
you actually are like, you either better get someone in your life that can help be a bridge, a professional,
Hmm.
or these goals, or you have to look internally at yourself in a way that maybe you never did before. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. Your
Right.
past doesn't define you, but you have to look at yourself. Otherwise, you can't take that next step.
For me, you know, the African American community, I have nothing but love and support, and that's how I know that I'm walking in my purpose. What
Mm,
was amazing to me, and it's crazy that you asked me that, is because I was just saying this yesterday. What's amazing to me is that initially I thought that my audience was, you know, majority African American. It's African American, but the more that I travel and do in-person speakings, and the more that I'm doing life coaching, it's not, you
but
know, it's honestly, it's like, even I have the love that I receive from all over the world. Like, I
man,
mean, it's amazing. It's mind blowing. Like, you know, it's people from all walks of life. I mean, I even have some people that are, you know, brought up in church, and this is like beyond churchy. That's like, you know what?
right,
I was extremely homophobic, and then I started following you. And now that I
wow,
follow you, I become less concerned with the messenger, and I'm just tuned into the message. I have people that are in the LGBT community that comes to me and they're like, I thank God that my mom found you. It is
oh,
just like, she
Wow.
struggled with me being this way, but now that she sees you and she see that our lifestyle has more to offer than just what is paraded online as far as the sexual acts and being perverted and doing this, it's like she see you and she's looking at me different now, treating me different now. And for me, I
Why?
just
What's the message to people that are racist or homophobic that
I
resonates
think
without shoving it down their throat?
right. A lot of times I think that, we look at people and we just judge them. We judge them based on things that we've heard or, assumptions that we made. And like
Or the
right now
Bible?
yeah, or the Bible, yeah. And I think that now people are becoming more open-minded. And I think that also we're living in a day and time right now where, depression is at its all-time high, and,
Oh boy.
mental health is something that needs to be spoken about on every platform and every
Right.
venue. This is something that's going on. And to be honest, I think that people just, they're so numb right now from the pain and the betrayal and the letdowns and just hard not life, just, you know what I mean? Just life and this unexpected blows all together, that it's just, I want to feel something. And when you
Right.
have somebody that come through and they have that level of passion and aggression, I think sometimes, they get scared at first. It's like, wait a minute, what is she going on about? And then, but they're scared at first and then they stay. And it's like, wait a minute, you caught my attention with this, but I'm
Mhm.
gonna hang out for a few minutes so I can see what you're talking about.
Right.
And before you know it, they become a full-fledged supporter and they just like on board, and we just keep rocking.
Oh man, that is fascinating stuff. What's the
Mhm.
number one obstacle for people in relationships to either have it end or succeed, like intimate
Yeah.
relationships?
I think the biggest thing right now is the effective communication. I think a lot of times when you're in a relationship, a lot of times I think it needs to be understood that you're not going to always see things my way and I'm not going to always see things your way, but if we learn how to communicate, then I can understand where you're coming from. You can understand where I'm coming from. And then together we can make a healthy compromise on how we can make this thing work for the both of us. But a lot of times right now, we have people that have developed this mentality that is going to be my way or no way.
Yeah.
and and I think that that's what causes a lot of the drama or a lot of the chaos, because in a relationship you got to be willing to bend a little bit.
Oh man, that is fascinating stuff. All right, we'll talk about a few things in the rapid fire too. Is that cool? And then I'll leave the
Okay.
stage for you to tell about any of your events. I mean, I could go on forever because the scenarios, you know, the approach that you have is it's
Mhm.
empowering, and that's really what you want to do, right? The tools in the toolbox. You want to
Oh
empower
yeah,
people. That's all it's about.
exactly.
Yeah, you're just giving back. You're a life coach. You're an author. You're
Hmm.
serving God. You're doing everything basically to serve. It's about servitude and love and connectedness. And
Hmm.
that's what Dr. Kennedy, and I didn't mention in his book name, it's Anxiety RX. You talked about anxiety. That's exactly what the name is, Anxiety RX.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so if you guys are interested in that, you can go. I don't get anything from mentioning anybody. I don't make anything here. I don't make anything on TikTok. I don't make, maybe down the road I will, but I do it for the same reasons you have talked about, which is
Hmm.
to serve and
Right.
serve and continue to serve. And whatever happens out of that, then we'll see what happens down the road. But yeah, you
Hmm.
can check him out. The Anxiety MD is his moniker, just like yours is Street Poet underscore 1125. Is that your birth date? 1125?
No, actually, 1125 is a representation. My niece went missing from Rock Hill, South Carolina, on Thanksgiving of 1125. It was November the 25th, and she's still missing to this day.
Oh,
And I just never removed it off of there. Like it's been there for about 5 years now, and I just initially it was just Street Poet, and just because I always want to have her out there and always, in you brought it up just now because I was going to put that in the end,
yeah.
always, mentioning her name. Her name is Aaliyah Bell. She went missing from Rock Hill, South Carolina, and my family, we've done everything that we could possibly do to try to figure out what was going on and all of that. So anybody out there that may have know anything or whatnot, what I mean, please feel free to contact us or to contact the Rock Hill Police Department. Again, her name is Aaliyah Sade Bell. And she went missing on Thanksgiving 11/25 in 2014.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry for the family. I can't.
Thank you.
I just can't. Oh, love or connectedness. We just talked about that. So you got to choose one. Love or connectedness is rapid fire. It's the this or that segment of the podcast. So
love.
And self-love or God love?
Self-love.
Wow. Didn't expect that. Lit or dope?
Lit.
Oh shit. Whitney or Beyonce?
Whitney.
Man. Yeah, she was lit.
Whitney is one of a kind. She is one of one. Beyonce is an excellent performer, but Whitney is one of one.
She was. Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook?
The Facebook gets on my last nerve. First TikTok and
okay. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay. I was about to say. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Ooh, I am a breakfast person, honey. Give me some waffles, some chicken and waffles. I'm there. Okay.
Wait, Waffle House?
Ooh, I love Waffle House. The chicken Mexi meal. Of course. Of course.
Oh, that is fascinating stuff, man. Well, the other two choices were going to be pancakes or French toast, but you already went with waffles. So shit, that's a wrap on that.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a wrap. Favorite beverage?
Oh, my favorite beverage is definitely sweet tea. Sweet tea.
Wait, from
all
where?
of my up north people that keep booking me, can y'all please have me some sweet tea when I get there? When I gotta fly out there, I'm stuck with water and juice the whole time. They have no sweet tea.
I got you. You come out to San Diego. Believe that.
See, that's all I ask. Sweet tea. Give me some sweet tea.
I got you. Favorite TV show of all time?
Favorite TV? Oh, The Notebook. That's a movie.
Yeah, that was a movie.
TV show, I am going to say Family Matters.
Wow. Urkel.
Yes. I used to like this show.
Yeah, no, it was a great show. What's your love language?
Oh, physical touch.
Wow. That's very interesting. Was it always physical touch, even despite all the trauma?
Yes, that's what made it. I think that's what made it so strong, because I didn't have that as a child. It wasn't that type of environment. So as an adult and learning what real love and what a real affection is, I love it. Like I love to give it and I love to receive it. Like, I love touch.
Well, how are your niece and your son now?
Oh man, my son is 24.
Man, you look 30.
No, I am 44.
God, man, that's amazing.
Thank you. So my son is 24. He's in Charlotte, North Carolina, and he's studying to be a chef.
Hey.
Yes. He's gonna make me some chicken and waffles.
That is phenomenal. Oh man. And your niece, she's all right? Your sister's daughter?
Oh no, she's still missing.
That's the one that was missing, the one that you took care of?
Yes. She's still
Oh
missing.
my God.
Yeah, no. So it's like a daily thing, even with me, because of course, in your mind, you're thinking I should have just kept her with me. And you can't think that way, because
I'm so sorry.
It was nothing that I could have done or anybody else could have really done that would have changed that outcome. So
I thought it was a different niece. I apologize. Oh my gosh.
Oh no, you're fine.
Would you rather snuggle with a penguin or a giraffe?
Oh my God, giraffe. Giraffes are my favorite land animal. Don't you know, I get up and I would go to the zoo. I'm probably about 10 minutes away from the zoo. So I'll get up and I'll go to the zoo at 11 a.m. just to feed the giraffes and read.
Man, that is.
I love it.
Does it cost extra to feed the giraffes?
No, you just have to buy the food that you're giving them.
Oh,
it's like $2 or $3. Yeah, the Riverbank Zoo.
Wow, man, I did not know that.
Oh,
I gotta. How far are you from Columbia?
I'm in Columbia.
Oh, damn. My college roommate, who's a VP at a university in New York, used to be one of my co-hosts. He's got a place in Columbia.
Really?
So
Yeah.
we about to go get some sweet tea if I come down to Columbia.
Man, listen, we gonna get some sweet tea. We're gonna
Some
go hang
waffles.
out, all of that, exchange some good energy.
Oh
We'll
man,
shoot some good footage, all of that stuff.
for real. Chocolate chip cookies or chocolate chip muffin?
Chocolate chip cookies for sure.
Yeah, I saw you doing a little cooking there for a minute.
Oh,
Hello, somebody, or I'm a rejoice today.
hello, somebody.
Right, of course. I'm going to ask you about that in a second. Mercedes or Land Rover?
Ooh, Mercedes.
Oh wow. Orange or red Nikes?
Now you know I love sneakers, so this is an unfair question. Um, I'm gonna go with red. I'm gonna go with red.
Ooh. Wow, I thought you were going to say orange. Interesting.
Almost.
Almost, yeah. Boo or Bay?
Bay. Definitely Bay.
Wait, do you have a favorite sport?
I do not.
Oh wow, you don't care about sports.
Don't not at all.
Yeah. Chadwick Boseman is from South Carolina.
Mhm.
Did his death impact you at all?
I'm gonna say this. It didn't impact me to the point where it was like, oh my gosh, this happened,
Right.
because death is something that coming from my upbringing that I kind of got used to, you
Right.
know. So it wasn't a big shock. And but I mean it was a shock that he died, but um I started to respect him afterwards, if that makes sense.
Right.
Just to see him and understand that he had this all on his plate and was going through what he was going through, but still was
Right.
showing up for himself and the people that he loved, and still working and doing stuff like that. I admire that. And what I mean, I'm planning to go see the Black Panther, and I am planning to have on my all white because yes, I'm down for it.
You have a favorite tattoo that you of yours?
Yes, my rose is around my neck.
Ooh. And what does that signify?
It's just because just concrete rose basically is,
Mm.
for me, it's just that roses still have thorns. You still have
Mm.
some rough edges, some rough parts about you, but it's also some beautiful, some soft, some things to you as well. So it's just that type of representation for me.
Man, that's amazing. Uh Chris Rock's also from South Carolina. You ever met Chris
Oh, is
Rock?
it?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Did you saw the incident with him and Will Smith, right? The
Yes.
slap.
Right.
So what were your thoughts about that, man? You talk about trauma. Wow.
Yeah, I think that the slap should have never happened. That's one. But I also think that the joke shouldn't have happened either. I think that,
Right.
Chris has a habit, or they had this relationship where they were bickering back and forth way before that
Yes,
incident
they were.
actually happened. And I think that at one point or another, we should all, utilize boundaries,
Yeah.
and no man, period, regardless of the color of their skin, no man is going to sit by and allow you to insult their wife or
Right.
just, crack jokes or humiliate their wife, especially when y'all already had past tension with y'all. So I hate that it happened the way that it happened. And I really, I'm hoping that they can get past it
Yeah.
though.
Gratitude or intentional?
Oh, both of them.
That one's a tie.
Yeah, both of them.
Yoga or meditation?
Meditation.
Hmm. I've been meditating since I was 9,
Yeah,
and it's helped me a lot.
it does. It definitely puts you in a clear mindset, and it allows you to be able to think clearly about the things that you're going to do. When you master the art of meditating, I
Mm,
think that it puts you in that space where you're able to really strategically plan out your life. You know what
totally.
you want to do and how you want to do it. So I'm big on meditation.
Did you ever have the talk when you were a kid with some family member about what happens if you get pulled over?
As a kid, no.
No. Did you ever get pulled over because they were racially profiling you?
No. You know what? It's never about, you know what? I'm probably the only person that's on social media that have the platform that I have, that I'm rarely in anything racial. First off, I get pulled over, and it's not because of my race. I get pulled over because of my freaking car. I'm 44 and I want to live life like a fast car. I want to my car look like somebody that it belongs to somebody that's 21. Okay. So I got the
Wait, what
rims
is
on
it?
there. I got the
What is it?
tint on there.
What kind of car? Wait, what was it?
Man, it's a Charger. It's a Charger.
I love it.
Man,
It's
listen.
loud. It's fast. Yeah,
Yes.
I love it.
Tinted windows, and the tint is like not even that. It's not even legal tint. It's so dark in there. You can't even,
It's
yeah.
50%.
Yeah, I'm over there and I'm telling you, whenever they bother me, it's always about the tent. But on
Right.
my way coming back from Dallas, Texas, I was just in Dallas, Texas last week.
Oh
And
my God.
we were coming back. We flew out of Georgia, so we had to drive back. I got pulled over. They come out and he checks the tent. But of course, my energy is always, it's always immaculate. I love
Yeah.
people. I don't care about all of that. He comes to the car. It's this white guy. He's a white officer, and he's just like he's like talking to me, and I said, I had my hands up. I was waiting on him to get up there. I knew my tent was dark, so I didn't want to startle him as he was coming either.
Right.
And he asked me for my ID. I said, okay, I just didn't want to go to digging, while you were coming up. Is it okay for me to get it? And he was like, yeah, go ahead, grab your wallet, So I grabbed the wallet, I give him the ID, and he comes back and he says, I follow you on social media.
Oh, that was a wrap.
But you know what was crazy?
Man.
Looking at him, you would have never thought that he followed me. You would have never thought that this guy was on social media and he was following me. He had about
And admitted
7
it.
posts.
And admitted
Yeah.
it.
Yes, he had about 7 posts, right? That he had made on his whole page. He was following about 100 people, and I was one of the hundreds. He pulls out his phone and he shows me in his story, and he's like, I love you. And, and I got a warning, but at the same time, it was,
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
that right there
Showed
also,
you.
yeah, that plus the dean of the school that I went to when I got my GED, she was white as well. So a lot of the good people that have done from those situations, it actually shows that, you can't judge a book by its cover. You're gonna have some good people, some bad people, and it doesn't matter.
Oh man, just to be around that energy all the time, your own energy, even on the bad days, and just know that people that you're engaging with are going to uplift you, and that there's reciprocity there. Man, it must be an amazing feeling just to know every single day. And it's not about the pressure like an athlete would have if they got to hit a game-winning shot. Like there's no pressure to know that, right, that you're coming on, that, oh, you got to be the best version of yourself today. Like you just got to be yourself. And because you know that at this point, maybe not in the beginning, that am I wrong? Wait, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Not like it's pressure.
For real?
Yeah.
Because I just feel like if you've been this way your whole life, it's not like an act. And then, you're a different person. It's just so natural.
Right. But sometimes, sometimes, like I said, you have life and it's unexpected things that come up in your life. Right. And when you are in the position that I'm in, there's no days off. There's no, oh yeah, well, I'm not going to show up.
Yeah.
There's times when I have to get up and I have to actually do a motivational speech and my whole world is falling apart. Or my heart is broken, or I'm experiencing some hardship, or in my own life, but I still show up. And a lot of times what I noticed that happens with me recently is that, when I'm going through these things and I show up, I think that I'm helping them, but I'm actually helping myself more.
So I'm gonna give you a couple more real quick.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you 3 topics.
Okay.
And then you have to do your little freestyle 1 or 2 minute motivational speech on that topic. As if you were just coming on and randomly, someone asks you a question, then you speak on it for 20 minutes, but we'll just do a quick one. Okay. So either childhood trauma, death of a loved one, or fear of aging.
Childhood trauma.
Okay. So you're going to speak on that any way you want for a minute or 2 or whatever. I'd like give people an example of how you would just come on your live, or they can go to your podcast and listen to the live on the podcast on Spotify or Apple or any of the others, and how you go about starting it and then helping people to bring it home.
Okay. Basically how I always start is, I'm always like, good morning. But when talking about childhood trauma, the first thing I always tell people is to grab your pen and your pad, get your red ink pen, get your notepad, because it's about to go down, right? And so when I say that, I'm saying that to say that no matter whatever the situation is that you're in, no matter whatever type of family that you're coming from. You have to understand that everybody have a story. Everybody have something that they're healing from in their life. Everybody have, something that has happened to them that is actually unfortunate. And, and that's part of life. You have to understand that life is unfair. Life will definitely leave you with some bumps and some bruises. It will leave you with some knots upside your head. But what you have to do is you have to accept your reality. These things happen. It wasn't something that you should have had to go through, but you did. The lesson from that is to say that I'm still here. And the fact that you're still here, it lets you also know that you still have some purpose. So with that being said, you have to wake up and you have to be driven and understand that, as long as I'm alive, long as I got air in my body, long as I have the activities of my limbs and I'm clothed with my right mind, this is a brand new day for me to do something different. I can do it all the way over. You don't have to stay in those same exact situations. You don't have to accept the bare minimum. And just because that's what your parents done, and that was their way of thinking and their way of living, doesn't mean that that has to be for you and your family as well. The storms that wet you up as a child, don't allow that to wet you up as an adult as well.
Mm, powerful. How do you help people see the pain in a way that can now help them instead of always triggering them and making them feel like they can't go on?
One of the things that I teach about all the time is letting go of the victimized mentality. That's
Mm.
number one. I don't even I teach people that, a victimized mentality does nothing but keep you in a stuck, stagnant state. You can't grow if you're constantly focusing on your pity party, or trying to find other people that want to join in and participate in that pity party. First thing that I'll tell you is that you have to let go of that mindset. The second thing I'll say is if you want some people around you, get around some people that's going to motivate you, that's going to inspire you, that's going to hold you accountable. Get around some folks that's not going to be yes men or yes women, and that's just going to stroke your ego and tell you, oh, you have the reason to feel like how you feel. And if I went through that, girl, I'd still be down too. No, get you somebody in your life to let you know that it's time to get up. Get you some I call them active friends. Those friends that you call them when you're ready to get active, when you're ready to pack up that old stuff and you're ready to make room for your new blessing.
And it's hard to let go though. Like I said, we don't want to make it
Oh yeah.
sound so simple. You've been with someone for a
Mhm.
long time or your family members or
Right.
it's hard to let people go and shift paradigms.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's hard.
It's I think the thing about it is that I'm not gonna say that it's hard to do. I'm gonna say that it requires work, dedication, and consistency.
Every
If you
day.
tell yourself that it's going to be hard, then it's going to be hard. If you say that it's going to be not doable, then you're not going to be able to do it. But it all, it's about how you think about your life and how you speak over your life, you know?
Right.
And I'm very like, yeah, I watch what I say about my life,
Yeah.
and even though I know some things are going to be a little more difficult than others, I always put it out there, but I can do it though. It's going to take some work, but I can do it though. And it is hard walking away from people that you love. It's very hard walking away from them. But at the end of the day, you got to make a decision that you're going to make. Are you going to live your life for them or are you going to live your life for you? Because if loving you means that I got to damage me, then that's not a healthy connection. And to be honest, that's costing me too much.
But sometimes you get sucked in like you did.
Oh yeah. Sometimes we do get pulled in. And I think that that's the reason why it's always important for you to do a self-evaluation. I actually do a self-evaluation every 7 to 14 days. Evaluate
Wow.
yourself. Evaluate yourself. Look at your own self. See what it is. What am I doing that's breaking my own heart? How am I contributing to my own suffering? What is it that I'm allowing in my life that's making me feel this way? Hold yourself accountable for making sure that you're forever growing. And I think that doing that evaluation on yourself, and after you evaluate yourself, you evaluate your priorities, right?
Mm.
You evaluate your priorities because you want to know, what am I filled by, right? What is it? By love? Is it by peace? Is it by positivity? You know what I'm saying? And those things are important. And once you identify what is a priority in your life, what you actually need in order to bring you that joy, that peace, that satisfaction that you're looking for, anything after that is trash. So the third thing is to take out the trash. Self-evaluation, evaluate your priorities, then take out the trash.
Phenomenal. And then you start to see the dots connect and you didn't even realize they're starting to connect. And now your vibration changes, which is what we talked about in the beginning. You're like, man, I feel like a different person.
Right.
And you're like energetically, not like literal energy, but like vibrational energy, like over time, right? It's not like a week thing, right? Over a year or 2 or 3 or whatever,
Oh
6
yeah.
months. You're
Sometimes,
like,
you know what?
oh, I feel like I'm
Sometimes,
well, and then real quick, and then you start attracting yourself to different people.
right.
Right. And then you're like, man, this is weird, but man, now I'm around people that are like loving and nurturing and empathetic and tolerant and giving and so you notice those changes if you're doing the work that you like that you talked about.
Yep, your whole environment is starting to change around you
Right.
automatically. And sometimes it doesn't even take, months on months. If after you've done it 7 days and you're being conscious about it and you're doing it on purpose, it's
Right.
like now your focus is on becoming a better person. So no matter your eyes are open and you're focusing on all the things that you used to pass over that you thought
Right.
was nothing. Now you're paying attention to those things that you considered nothing. And every time you cross one of
Right.
those things, guess what? You're building up more confidence. You're building up more
Right.
self-esteem. And before you know it, here you are, you're this person and you upbeat and you're vibrant and you're glowing all over the place. But it starts with you evaluating self.
Yep. And then you see the conversion of the trauma into
Mhm.
now you paying it forward and helping yourself, like you said, on a daily
Right.
basis and helping others simultaneously.
And helping others. Exactly.
That's amazing. So when you hit 50 in 6 years, is this what you still want to be doing?
Yes.
And then if you could have any 5 people at your dinner table, past or present, dead or alive, but you've never met them, what 5
I've
people would
never
be at your
met them.
never met them, who would be at your dinner table?
Whitney Houston.
I love it.
It's my favorite singer. So it Whitney Houston, Mahalia Jackson.
I don't know who that is.
She's an old singer.
Oh, wow.
And civil rights leader. I'm gonna go with Rosa Parks. I wouldn't mind also having Maya Angelou at my
Oh,
table.
man.
That's gonna be some really
Talk
good
about
conversation.
her strength.
Yeah, and
Oh, any guys or no guys?
I'm that I've never met.
It doesn't
You
have to
said
be. I was
dead. You
just
said dead or alive, right?
dead or alive. Yep.
Zig Ziglar.
Wow. On that note, I
Yeah,
love it. Well,
yeah.
man,
I love listening to him.
yeah, he was great. Um, man, fascinating. Like I said in the beginning, I'm truly humbled and honored that you chose to share space with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and so anything that you want to share with people in terms of events coming up? Like I said in the beginning, you got something September 10th. You got stuff going all the way to December. I heard you this
Yes.
morning. You got stuff constantly. But you guys go to her link tree and click anything that you want from her. There are a plethora, endless videos, audio, t-shirts, man, you
All
name
of it.
it. It's been unbelievable to share time with you and share space with you and think about going to Dr. Kennedy's the Anxiety MD page and looking at some of the things and see because it
I
may
sure will.
add to what may resonate with people because I like to point people in different directions because you
Right.
never know
And I
what's
can
going to help
appreciate
them.
that. I like different information as well. So I'm definitely on it. Yeah, guys, real quick, you guys can follow me. Once you click that link that's in my bio, you guys can follow me on all platforms. That's Facebook, that's Twitter, that's Instagram, TikTok, all the above. I also have a Patreon. And
Yep.
I love to push my Patreon because a lot of people right now, I understand that, everything, the inflation, and a lot of people cannot afford life coaching. Right now inside my Patreon, which is only $10 a month, you guys can sign up and I do a open floor support group every Thursday. That
Wow.
means bring your questions, bring your comments, bring your testimonies, anything that you're dealing with in life and you want to get a different perspective, you want to get some positive feedback, some constructive criticism or whatnot. All you got to do is sign up for the Patreon every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're live. It's about 600 people in there. All you have to do is
Wow.
mute your mic when you're not speaking And when you do have something to say, then you could take it off mute. And we all, man, we all lean on each other. We all
Wow.
support each other. We all pour into each other. So my Patreon, it is a Patreon, but it's more like a motivational community that
Right.
I created for my people that, you know, sometimes you want to get away from the regular social media stuff, the dance
Right.
trends and subliminal posts or the fights and stuff that go on some of these apps. If you just want something with some substance, you just want that motivation, and you're
Mm.
just now starting out on your self-love journey, and you just want to have something that you can work out with or wake up to in the morning, sign up for the Patreon. I have plenty of videos inside of there.
Man, that is amazing stuff. Oh man, we could talk. I need more people in my life like you. It's just amazing. The
Thank you.
energy. Yeah. So much love. And what do you got on
You as
tap for the
well.
rest of the day? Anything fun for the rest of the day today?
Whew, I'm about to get some rest, and then I'm gonna be live inside the Patreon at 7.
I love it. Oh yeah, it's Thursday.
Yep, it's Thursday. They gonna be waiting on me.
All right, Queen. Much love to you, and I'll definitely stay in touch. And anything I can do. And if you're in San Diego, man, let's get that sweet tea going, and do some things around San Diego. I'd love to be a host to you and your people.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate all the love and the support. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, much love. All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, everyone. Here is today's outtakes with the incredible street poet, Laroy Hall.
I'm trying to see why my picture didn't pop up though.
You got to hit the start video in the lower left corner.
Start video.
It should be next.
Ah,
Should be next to the.
there we
Hey,
go.
that's what's up,
What's going on?
man. What an honor.
Oh, no problem at all, man. No problem at all.
You were going off this morning. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
I love it.
So that was a good one. I tell you
Yep.
what, sometimes I get on there and I just, I'll read all the inboxes, and then after a while, it's like, you know what? I can't reply back to y'all all individually. Let me just do a live video that'll cover everything that everybody's talking about, and we can all move forward from there,
Yeah. Yeah,
It's a little bit
absolutely.
easier for me. How you doing today, though?
I'm straight. Just trying to keep the conversation going. A lot of interesting things happening lately. I'm always posting myself, and as a life coach, I approach things in a way that's similar to you, but obviously you have that freestyle ability, that resonates with people. It's like, man, it's amazing. But I have a like formal intro, and then we'll chop it up if that's cool.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us again today. We truly hope that we added some value to your life to help you believe in your compass, listen to your inner voice, trust your gut, and follow your sixth sense, your intuition. Remember, you can always send us an email to followyourintuitionpodcast@gmail.com. And you can always check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok @Mike Hootner. And take care of yourselves, everyone. Literally. You can always call the Suicide Lifeline in English at 800-273-8255, in Spanish at 888-628-9454. And for anyone who may be deaf or hard of hearing, you can call 800-799-4889. You can also call 988 on any phone. And they are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days of the year. Thanks for joining us again right here. And until next time, remember everyone, follow your intuition. Peace.